Push them up, folks. It's time to focus for the second time, but also stay focused. So we're gonna focus on.
It's a great app.
It is a good app. So obviously, before I tell you the name of this thing, obviously, Windows and Mac have their own built-in mail clients. But it seems to me, and keep this in mind, I'm excluding Electron apps, so this statement can be truer, that there's only one option for a cross-platform native mail client.
I think that to be true.
And it's Thunderbird. It's Thunderbird. And somehow, new life has been breathed in to the bird you thought was dead. You thought the bird was dead. You were like, I'll just use the webmail. And so did everyone else, including me. I got a little, you can go back, I can't remember, this is the second season sometime, kind of got a little infatuated, had a little fling with Geary.
Yeah.
And I still love Geary.
Geary looks pretty. It looks pretty.
But let me tell you something. Thunderbird's going through a little revamp right now. And while you can still have the old layout, you can also get a Geary style layout. That was the thing.
Yeah, so, that's what drew us back.
Yeah, it did. So there was a post about version 102, and that's where we're at right now. 103, which has the big interface changes, is not here yet.
Yep.
But 102 came with a better export migration wizard. And Dan, we were talking about our email woes.
We did have a little woe.
We kind of skirted around that a little bit, right? But the email just wasn't there for a little while. We had to do some backside finagling to make it all work and everything. And when you do that, you lose everything. But we didn't, because Thunderbird had it all cached, and I was able to export it. But it was kind of a pain.
Yeah.
Okay, it wasn't kind of a pain. It was a huge pain to get it in a format that I thought was easy to move around. And so now I have backups of it and everything else, and these are, mails prior to season 3. But now, and of course it would be after I needed it, but now, if we ever need it again, there's a much better export, migration, import, whatever wizard. That was the thing that was, obviously I could have used it prior to this, but now I know that if we ever run into any other trouble, it'll be a million times easier to handle that. A revamped address book, a link previews. This is my favorite. When adding links to an email, just shows up real nice in there. Obviously, when you send it, it doesn't show up on the other end unless they have similar features. Right. But to you, you can see what you're sending. That way, less likely to send the wrong link. An easier first-time setup. And with all this distro hopping we do, that's kind of important to me because I like to just live on that distro, whatever that is. I'm just trying to live on it. So I need my mail. And we're talking, we're spanning like 5 mailboxes. So I need a lot of mail.
Yeah.
And so the first time setup, nice. Matrix.
This is new and big.
Listen, if you do Matrix and you do mail, you kind of might want to check this out because it's Matrix built in to the mail client. So you have asynchronous conversations, email, and synchronous conversations, Matrix, all baked into one. And the thing is, emails decentralized. Well, I don't know, everybody's using Gmail these days, but if you're not, then email is decentralized and Matrix is decentralized. It is a decentralized marriage made in tech heaven.
It is. It's pretty cool.
It's amazing. And they added this toolbar off to the side on the left, and you know what it reminded me of? Vivaldi.
No, that's cool.
Because you got like contacts over there, you got mail over there, you got calendar over there. So like the big main things, Matrix shows up over there. Like the main things that you're swapping through are over there, and that's a pretty big departure from what Thunderbird was before. And
For sure.
some new icons. In 102, they started, so with those two last things, the toolbar over there and the new icons, they're really starting to give you just piecemeal what that new interface is going to look like in future versions. It's not here quite yet. So don't go in there expecting geary setup.
102 is a big improvement in itself.
It is huge.
Though, so.
And I have to assume that they're trying to stay closer to the Firefox version number, because 102 released and then 103 released like today, the day we're recording this.
Yeah.
And 103 is due Thunderbird soon.
Right.
So
they do sort of keep track. I don't know if they're trying to keep track because they really are separate entities at this point.
Yeah, Mozilla
they were like this, and then they went like this, and so they're kind of like side by side. So, so I don't know if they're trying to stay in tune with the same numbering scheme, but they've done well with it. So I
from
guess
where I'm sitting, knowing nothing more, kind of looks like it.
Yeah, I say go with it. So I'll tell you about my use case for Thunderbird. In addition to the show, I also use it for most of my Ubuntu stuff, and here's why. I oftentimes have to send a GPG signed message,
That'll do it.
or actually encrypt a message sometimes too. Thunderbird in the olden days, 90 something, I don't even remember when, you used to be able to have this extension. It's called Enigmail, and it did those things, and it worked pretty good. However, fast forward to modern times, I don't really know when it became an integrated thing now, because it's been around for a few iterations. But the GPG stuff is built in to Thunderbird.
Nice.
And so you don't have to get the external extension anymore. And it makes it very, very easy to pull in your GPG keys on your system, and actually it makes it easy to manage them as well.
Nice.
So if you want to go that route, I know there are other tools that people use for that sort of stuff, but here's another use case that this allows you. If you don't have a key, you can create a key. You can make sure it gets uploaded to the right places, all through the mail client itself.
You can save the private bits,
and it saves those on your machine. You don't have to use the command line, which is an alternative.
That is huge.
Or like some other tool like Seahorse to do these things.
Well, I feel like that was the whole reason why that process, Ubuntu's process, is changing, because it used
opaque. To be hard. Yeah, it used to be really hard. And I don't know, I just like that it's built in there, and they give you the easy button for that.
Sure do. And my use case is just multiple mailboxes.
Well, that too, yeah.
And it does that pretty well as Geary and everything else. I liked Geary a lot because you could integrate it in with GNOME, and then Geary would just feed off of that.
Right.
But I think having a cross-platform mail app is more important to me now than it was any other time prior, just because I have everything. I have all the things floating around, and it's nice to have the same interface to deal with the same things everywhere you go.